I don't usually talk about rumors, but not upcoming, but these rumors about the future of the MCU, honestly, they're 50-50. I don't take them that seriously, to be honest. I actually hate the entire leak game. I think they ruined the experience of superhero movies because no other genre, I think, really suffers for it the way comic book films do. And I think that league culture has been something that has ruined the experience. That's just me, though. Maybe some people like it getting spoiled about a fucking movie that they could wait a year for to see what happens. I mean, hey, if you want to go in there and have a checklist about what stuff is gonna happen, be my guest. But there are these couple rumors, and I do think, I mean, in this current day and age where Marvel is down to do a Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom, that I do think they would do this. And I'm here to say this is a mistake. And that is bringing back Hugh Jackman Wolverine post Secret Wars. And now I know what you're going to say. You hate Hugh Jackman's Wolverine? No, I actually really love his adaptation of the character. But some things need to just end. And I do think his tenure as Wolverine should, I mean, it already did wrap up in Logan, but it should wrap up in Secret Wars. That's the end of this big multiverse thing. He can make his little cameo, or maybe he can have a little small role in the movie, but I would not want him to be the Wolverine of the MCU. I think it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like, this is a terrible example to bring, but it's like bringing Zack Snyder's Superman for the new DCU. It just doesn't quite make sense. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine was the face of the old era of X-Men, and to continue him into this new era of X-Men would be distracting, because I assume they are going to most likely recast all the characters. But if you recast all the characters without Wolverine, then it's just weird, because it's like, why is he the only guy that's still here? And, I would rather they do a new actor. And I think even Deadpool Wolverine showed that, yeah, there could be a new actor. Like when they teased the Henry Cavill Wolverine. Even though I wasn't crazy about that casting, a lot of people were. A lot of people were like, oh my God, he could probably play Wolverine and stuff. Would I want Henry Cavill to be the MCU Wolverine? I mean, not really. I do think there's an actor out there that could play Wolverine. Like every time somebody says Hugh Jackman can't play Wolverine, or not, nobody can play Wolverine besides Hugh Jackman, I just have to look at them funny, because you make it seem like Wolverine is this complicated, deep, complex character that only Hugh Jackman could play. And sure, Wolverine is definitely a complex character, but I think a lot of people could play him. And on top of that, we've only seen one version of Wolverine. We didn't even fully get to see all these different versions of Wolverine until Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that is when we kind of got a full comics Wolverine in a way, but it worked in that movie because the Deadpool movies are parodies. But if we're taking a serious X-Men adaptation, there's so much with Wolverine that we clearly haven't even done. There's so many X-Men stories that they haven't even touched, and Fox had these characters for 24 years. Well, not 24 years. They really had them for 20 years, technically. No, 19, maybe 18, by themselves before Disney bought it. But basically, they had a 24-year franchise, and they barely scratched the surface on X-Men stories. And I feel there's so many actors that could play the different roles of Wolverine. We really haven't gotten a true exploration of his patch identity in Madripoor. We haven't even had him in Madripoor yet. So there's a lot to do. And I don't want Hugh to do it because he's getting too old for this role. He has literally mentioned himself that his body can't do this anymore. And I don't want to make him keep doing that, because clearly Marvel has big plans for the mutants post Secret Wars. Kevin Feige has made that abundantly clear that we're getting X-Men after Secret Wars. And I don't want Hugh Jackman Wolverine to really be a part of it. Another thing could be that maybe they get Laura to be Wolverine. And I like X-23. I love Danny, I think, why was that, Danny Kafid? Why am I blanking on her name? Daphne Keane. I'm so sorry that I messed up her name. But, some people are like, well, she could be the Wolverine of the MCU. And to be honest, I'm not really feeling it. And I think it's because it's too tied to the Fox universe. Like, when I mean new Wolverine adaptation, that's what I mean, like, straight up, like, we start from scratch. Because I think the only element that should carry over to Fox is Deadpool, because he's a meta character, and that actually works easier to incorporate a character like that into the franchise compared to, like, doing the same thing with Wolverine. It would, with Wolverine, you're like, this just feels off. But with Deadpool, you're like, all right, he's like a parody character, comedy character. It's fine. And plus, Deadpool's already integrated with Disney nicely, which is a weird sentence that I said, but that's the reality we live in. I mean, again, like I said, Daphne Keene, I don't know. I don't know if I would want her as the MCU Wolverine. I mean, at least not yet. Or maybe it is just too tied to the Fox universe. Or maybe she could just play a different character in the MCU. Although, would that be distracting? I don't know. But the other thing that I think this is a true highlight of why everybody wants Hugh to continue. Obviously, nostalgia. And nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Because basically, there comes a little bit of entitlements. Like, those Spider-Man fans that be like, only Tobey Maguire can play, can play Spider-Man. They're like, only Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man. And I think a lot of that is just that you saw these characters get adapted into live action. I don't want to say first Spider-Man has been adapted in live action like a couple times before we even got the Sam Raimi movies. But it's definitely the case with the X-Men. I think, these are some of the first adaptations, like proper adaptations. And in a way, I can understand why people can't let go of these. But also, like, what are we doing here? Are we valuing the actor over the characters at this point? Like, the characters should be the most important. I think this is how Marvel get themselves into trouble, like the current situation with T'Challa right now. Yes, Chadwick Boseman did an amazing job, but I think we're all starting to think that maybe, like, killing off T'Challa was a mistake, because T'Challa is a big part of the Marvel universe, and now, he's just gone, and I don't know. I feel like I enjoy Wakanda Forever for what it is, and obviously I love Chadwick Boseman, and he did a fantastic job. Just the same way where I think Hugh Jackman has done a wonderful job as Wolverine. But, like, what do we do? Are we servicing the actors, or are we servicing the characters? And I think that's what they really need to start thinking about here. What would be best for a character like Wolverine post Secret Wars? Like, if we're doing MCU Wolverine, we would absolutely 100% benefit from a new actor. And plus, we've did this storm before, where people hear somebody get casted in a role, they hate it because they're like, I can't see this character in the role, and then they finally get to see this actor in the role of the character, and they're like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Then they see the trailer, it's like, it was pretty okay, but, we gotta see how the movie is. And then they see the movie, and they're like, that was a pretty good adaptation. Or, they would be a hater until the thing gets surprisingly canceled, and then all of a sudden they're fans of it. And I don't know why people are like that. I don't know why they wait till things are canceled to be fans of it. But the point is that we need to start servicing these characters over the actors. And I know that sounds messed up to say, but yeah, at the end of the day, this might be a harsh thing to say. The actors are just a vessel to bring these characters alive, but you're not continuing a universe based off of an actor. You're continuing a universe based off the characters. And that's where I'm coming from, that Hugh Jackman should not come back for Secret Wars. I think in long term, it's going to hurt Marvel to have a Wolverine like him, because now they're going to just limit themselves to the type of things Wolverine could do in the universe that even Fox hasn't done. And it's just dumb. Okay, it's just dumb. Like, Hugh Jackman would be a sore, like, what was it? I think it's like, the point is, he'll stick out like a sore thumb. That was the phrase. But yeah. So no, do not bring Hugh Jackman back post Secret Wars. Don't do it, Marvel. I know you're in your nostalgia era, but this is a bad idea.
Geez, Bob, keep buzzing in my ear.